to use other issues around to look at how the protest will solve those issues or will aggravate them. And a lot of stories have come up over the week, some supporting the protest, the others going against the protest. We've seen groups coming up to say it is their fundamental right to protest. And we've seen some other groups saying that the protest is unnecessary and uncalled for. So what we're going to do today is we look at the advantage and disadvantage of the protest. We look at, is it necessary? Is it not necessary? So I'm going to be giving the two analysts, the guests, the opportunity to at least educate us as Nigerians on why do we need this protest or why don't we need this protest. And I think I will start with Mr. Kundila Pemilo Phillips. I will tell you. So what is your take on this protest?
Well, I think protest in Nigeria is just a matter of time. We have seen the wave of protests around the globe, but we have also seen what happened in the Arab Spring, what happened in Egypt and other Arab countries, and of recent, what happened in Kenya. And in Nigeria, it is only but a matter of time that something like this is going to happen. And the recent protest, they say a hungry man is an angry man. And Nigerians, whether we like it or whether we want to accept it or not, Nigerians are hungry. And thus, it laid the background. There are issues already on ground, but now it has a trigger. And the trigger is the recent hunger that is in the land that is making people to call for this protest.
Okay, just like you said an angry man, an hungry man is an angry man. But should an angry man be allowed to react in his anger? Yeah. Do you think the anger will be balanced?
Yeah, now you see, nobody is allowing anyone to react. It is now the hunger that is allowing people to react. But like I said, there are underlying issues on ground. And if you look at it critically, you know that this protest started as a result of hunger. But if you look at the demands by various groups from various sections of the country, you will see that there are other issues. And in 60, 50 years, things that have not been addressed, and people are looking at this like they want to take advantage of this opportunity to address those issues. So it is not just about hunger, but hunger is what is being in the vanguard, in the forefront of the reason why people are protesting. But if you look at it, there are underlying issues. Some of the issues are even older than us that are talking today. But then they have culminated into what it is today, and it is pushing people. But this hunger is just a trigger for a lot of issues that have been on ground. Even there are people that are angry because of how the last elections panned out. And they cannot, because everything has been settled even in the courts, they cannot come out with that issue of INEC not conducting free and fair election. Now they are using part of that to, so there are issues. You can name the issues, fuel subsidy.
So it's a concoction of issues that is leading to this protest. But hunger is the trigger.
Yes, right. Okay. Presently now, everybody in Nigeria is hungry. And if it were like we used to have it before, if it is an issue that is not widely spread, a section will tell you that no, they are not with this protest, because like when the EndSARS started, you will know that police brutality in the south is not as prevalent as it is in the north. So the northerners did not see the reason why people in the south were protesting against police brutality, because their own experience is different from what is obtainable in the north. And the north said, we will not be part of this. Of course, there is that part of because Buhari was in government. But presently, everybody in Nigeria is hungry. And hunger does not know tribe, does not know religion, does not know region. Everybody is hungry. That is why you see it's like an organic. There's the agreement is like organic, that the whole of the nation is agreeing that there is hunger and we want to protest.
Okay. Let me cut you short. As I'll tell you, you are not looking hungry. I said all Nigerians are hungry. You look like a well-fed man. So, but let me hold on to that. You look like a very well-fed man. So, Mr. Femi, are you with us?
Hello, I can hear you.
I can hear you. So I would like to hear you on the issue of this protest. What's your view? What's your take on all these protests?
I didn't get you.
I said I would like to get your view on the protest. The protest planned from 1st of August to the 10th of August by some Nigerians over the issue of hardship, hunger, and other prevailing matters.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Abraham. And it's a pleasure to meet you, comrade.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
To the point, the protest, I believe that every citizen, every human being has a right to protest. We have a right to what we believe in, the values that we hold dear. It's an inalienable right. But if you are going to protest, a protest should have an objective. What is the objective? Lamenting alone cannot be an objective. Saying, "Oh, we are hungry, things are expensive," that's not an objective. The objective is how do we get things down? What have we identified are the issues at hand that we want to resolve? That's number one. Then number two, a protest should be done with every sense of civic responsibility. It means that you must not, as promoters of the protest, allow it to be hijacked in any guise, because you cannot be hurting the same people that you claim to be fighting for. If you say you're fighting to alleviate poverty and reduce hunger, destroying the shops of the common man is not a solution. If you know what I'm saying, it does not add up to the full scheme of things. Um, uh, One of the things that amuses me about the protest is that as to what the government has done or what opportunities are available to them now. And because of those awareness of what most people have also now decided to lash out in anger. For one, I know that there are several youth empowerment programs in place. The youth loan, student loan scheme, um, and there are several agricultural support programs in place. As we are holding the government to account, we should also hold ourselves account, right? And we should ask ourselves, which of these opportunities have we actually sweated? Which ones have we used? How many of the unemployed have said, okay, I'm going to farm, I'm going to access some of the grants, some of the loans made available? How many small businesses? How many people have taken make an attempt to take advantage of the 3MTT program by the Honorable Mr. Boston Tijani. I mean, there are so many opportunities on the table. So if some say it is not necessary, I can agree. Necessity or otherwise does not negate the right to protest. People have a right to voice out how they feel, and I think it's the right that we must all hold sacred. However, what you're trying to achieve with the protest is very important, and how you go about the protest is equally as important.
Okay, Mr. Femi, Mr. Femi, I would like to ask a question. In all honesty, do you think the
Sorry, I'm having a
interventions,
bit of a challenge with your volume.
pardon?
It's low and it seems to be having an echo.
Okay, is it better now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a bit better.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that do you think the intervention so far is enough to assuage we all agree that there's an hardship in the country which we've never faced before, except maybe during the Civil War. I wasn't born there. I don't know what they felt, but since I was born, I've never seen such increase in prices of goods. I'm now in the north, where food materials, foodstuffs used to be very cheap, but nowadays even the villagers are complaining of the high prices of goods. Do you think all these student loans, grants to business people, do you think it is enough for over 200 million Nigerians? And like we all know, a large section of Nigerians are in the rural area. These things don't get to them. And again, the other issue I have is we keep doing the same thing the same way and we expect different results. Some of the interventions done by the government follow the normal channels it used to go through before, that we know it doesn't get to the grassroots, it doesn't get to the intended users, like the issue of the fertilizer, the rice, and the rest of it. Nigerians are complaining. Millions of naira will be spent on palliatives, on things to alleviate poverty, but honestly, we don't get it. So what's your view on that? Don't you think it's time we change the way we do things? And probably this protest can help us change the way we do those things. Look for new ways to do them. Mr. Femi, I would like to hear you on that.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So, yes, we all agree that things have become more expensive in the country. A lot of things, increasing prices are more than 100%. And there are a number of these. We need to be mindful of those factors when we're doing progressive and productive assessment of the situation. Okay, so I'll get to it. For example, when fuel subsidy was removed, the gone to subsidy the previous administrations had been doing for years. The proceeds were now given to the managers of the local economy. That's the federal government, the state governments, and the local government. Now, these guys are started with the responsibility of, helping directly with projects, with intervention, their response. Um, the windfall was supposed to help towards things that would alleviate the cost of living. For example, improved transportation. Improved transportation system, then you would have less of a concern about fuel because in the scale of economy, it balances out and it ends up. But if those funds that were saved, the proceeds they were retrieved for improving people and going into the economy, then of course we're going to have action. So there's the first part of holding those in office with the direct responsibilities accountable. That's not just process, a show of time, but accountable, being accountable. Were you speaking to within the system? Number two, you met with the elevation program, the different palliative that is not working, that students will do something else. How do we do something else? What else do we do? Stimulate the economy, basic practice. It still comes down to accountability. It still comes down to holding people responsible. When the government distributes, like the last time I think they gave truckloads of rice to the different states, how many people on social media followed up? As much as they follow up on things like this protest. That okay, so it was productive. I got it in my area. It happened. It didn't happen. There's no sense of accountability. In fact, people are more inclined to complain that the government is not doing enough. It should have been more than this and all that. And I tell people that look, governance is a two-way street. And then there's follow responsibility. The system works. We are alive. If the government you're not playing, the
Femi,
I
I
don't
think
know how that
the
works.
line is breaking. Okay, you speak up a little. Femi, can you hear us? Are you with us?
I didn't get what you said.
I said the line was breaking and your voice was fading.
Oh, okay, that must be the network connection. So I'm not sure where you heard me up to.
Okay, just continue from where you stopped.
Pardon?
I said okay, just hold on, hold on. I think let me I don't want to disrupt your thought pattern, but I would like to throw a question to the Sautello here in the studio. So there is this concern, I'm also concerned about it, that this protest could be hijacked. And there are some ulterior motives behind the call for protest by some groups. And we also had security agencies saying they've uncovered sponsors, they've uncovered foreigners who are coming to create havoc. And we saw what happened at the last NSAS protest. It started off as a peaceful protest. Youth all over Nigeria, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, were engaged, having fun. Some were being cooked for. It was like a carnival, and other issues were being thrown up. But later we found out that because there was no leadership, no direction, along the line it was hijacked. Ulos came in. Some said it was hijacked by politicians. Some say it was hijacked by secessionists and other issues like that. But there are a lot of things that happened, and some states lost a lot. I was in Lagos at that time, and we saw how the only forensic lab, I think in West Africa, was burnt down. Some BRT buses worth billions of naira was burnt down. Some government, private properties were looted. Police stations all over the country was looted. And at the end of the day, we could not achieve what we set up for. So isn't that a concern to you that these two could be hijacked by the same people?
Well, you see, it is said that those who make peaceful revolution um, difficult, they they make a violent revolution inevitable. And I think this may eventually play out. You cannot, in a country where people are hungry, be sharing SUVs worth 160 million to each of the members of the National Assembly. You cannot, in all honesty, in a country that people that you remove subsidy, you are paying, like we heard, it was rumored, nothing tentative, that for senators and members of House of Representatives to approve the supplementary budget, each of the senators got 400 million and House of Rep members got 50 million. It's an unsubstantiated but these are things that are out there, and people that are on the street are hearing it, they are reading it, even if it's true or not, people are hearing it. It is a trigger. Now, personally, I don't like any protest that has effect. Hmm? Because if you have a protest, imagine about 2 days back, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party said he will support us, the protest. If this thing comes out of what he should be, he will be held responsible, and the role of the protest will be changed. A protest shouldn't be political, and a protest that we should not, will not be protested. Yes, there's going to be fight. If
Haske TV, connecting the disconnected.
Haske maganin duhu.
Village situated at the border, Birpur. The feeling of hatred dominates this land. BSD stands for Bharat Suraksha Dal. Paru, who lost her parents in an attack by the BSD. There was a boy who was 150 kilometers away from Paru. He was Rudra. His eyes had been searching for an answer every moment.
Rangracia shiri ne mai dogon zango wadda zai dinga zuwa muku duk ranar Alhamis da misalin karfe 7:30 na dare. Sannan za a maimaita muku duk ran Juma'a da misalin karfe 3 na yamma. Ku kasance tare da tashar Haske TV. Haske maganin duhu.
Domin kallon shirye-shiryenmu da suka hada da labarai, wasanni, tatsuniya, kiwon lafiya, al'adu, idan mikiya, hira, awarwaro, siyasa da ma sauransu. Ku biyo mu ta shafukan sada zumunta ta yanar gizo a Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Haske maganin duhu.
Village situated at the border, Birpur. The feeling of hatred dominates this land. BSD stands for Bharat Suraksha Dal. Paru, who lost her parents in an attack by the BSD. There was a boy who was 150 kilometers away from Paru. He was Rudra. His eyes had been searching for an answer every moment.
Rangracia shiri ne mai dogon zango wadda zai dinga zuwa muku duk ranar Alhamis da misalin karfe 7:30 na dare. Sannan za a maimaita muku duk ran Juma'a da misalin karfe 3 na yamma. Ku kasance tare da tashar Haske TV. Haske maganin duhu.
You're all welcome back to News Nexus on Haske TV with Abraham Joda. And still with me in the studio is Honorable Kundila Efemilo Philip. And joining us virtually is Mr. Femi Onokore. And we're speaking on the planned protest, which is planned to take place from the 1st of August to the 10th of August of this year. And Mr. Femi, before we left, you said something about what the government is doing concerning the protest. But what concerns do you have about the potential for violence or hijacking of the protest by hoodlums? What are your concerns concerning those violence?
Regarding the protest, I'm concerned about it devolving to violence. And the reason is very simple. The protest has a noble, cause. Everybody, we have a right. We feel a grievance. Let those in authority know. But not everybody has the same interest. Some people have other interests in the matter. They have other objectives, and these folks will use this opportunity to cause mayhem. Now, a protest that does not have organizers means that there's nobody to hold accountable. It devolves into violence. And from the last experience we had as a nation in 2020, um, it was all a headless, protest. And eventually, it was hijacked. Now, some would say, oh, they sent hoodlums to come and disrupt. Um, I don't think criminals need to be specially motivated to take advantage of um, such opportunities. In fact, if you're in trafficking in some areas, right, you find out that some of these boys in the dangerous areas, they will come up with nobody told them to do it, but they see an opportunity and then they take it. So the likelihood of the protest being hijacked is a real concern because the people that particular action will affect is not the government, it's the people, it is you and I, it's the common man that we claim to be fighting for. Now, if we do not want it to degenerate to that level, then let us have a proper procedure. In most places in the world, you get a permit for a protest because otherwise it will be civil, disorder. Yeah, disturbing the peace of the rest of the public. Just as you have a right to protest, some people also have a right to say they do not want to indulge in the protest or be inconvenienced by the actions of the protest. We must respect that as well. The other challenge is the political undertone that is making the social media circuit. I cannot confirm, and I don't know if anyone has evidence to that effect, that it is a politically motivated protest. However, we have a long history since the last election of some people advocating for violence, for change of governance through violence. And the fear is that, and a very valid concern for most, well-meaning Nigerians, law-abiding Nigerians, is that some people will try to hijack that process of the protest to push their own personal interest and agenda. Now that does not favor anyone. It does not favor the citizens, it doesn't favor the country. It only favors those who are seeking anarchy. So once that can be removed from it, once the agitators are sincere in what they're asking for and they have gotten permission, they have a list of what their demands are and what they want, um, then we can say we can have a fruitful, meaningful engagement. But if we remove all this and we are protesting for the sake of protest, then we would have achieved nothing. To just be a waste of time, a waste of resources, We'll get everybody inflamed and agitated. But at the end of the day, we achieve nothing because after the protest, we still have to go back to the drawing board and ask the same questions that I'm asking now. What do we want to achieve with this protest? What are the mandates that we're setting? How do we address this issue so that the government can respond with cogent processes, procedures, projects? These are the things we are doing, or these are the things we have done regarding these your concerns, right? And then we can have a meaningful exchange. Some people are protesting because they don't know that there are some opportunities right at their doorstep, right? That they're not taking advantage of. Maybe they should bring their attention to it. Maybe the government has been focusing on helping a particular sector or a particular demographic as against others. Maybe this will create an opportunity for the government also to change its tack and change its approach. But all this can only be achieved if we have peaceful protest, peaceful engagement.
Yes.
Once those elements are allowed to hijack it, once mischievous folks are allowed to usurp the right of the people to protest, then it becomes automatically a farce. And then the government would be under the compulsion to step in as the keepers of law and order, which might lead to unfortunate circumstances. I mean, either true or false, it will lead to agitation, which is avoidable at this point in our, politics and economic development.
Let me hear from. I can see that Sautello is raring to go. He's been pouring in the studio. So now, Femi has raised some very serious issues about political undertone and some other issues that are not altruistic, as in they are not issues that the true protesters are protesting against. Some people are using it as an opportunity to hijack a regime hijack. So, Sautello, how do you think you can partner, the protesters can partner with um, relevant authorities to ensure that this protest is peaceful? The police, the Inspector General of Police, have called for the protesters to come to the police, seek permission. The police want to know where they are protesting, the routes they are going, how many people they are expecting. Can this be managed? To me, it sounds somehow a protest that you should come out and tell us those that are joining the protest. But like you said it's organic. So how do you contain the organicness of the protest at the same time maintaining order while protesting? Please, I would like to hear from you since you are someone that really wants to protest.
Well, I don't think that there are hard and fast rules about this thing, about protest. There are no rules. Protest can start at any time. It is only in Nigeria that people give 3, 4 months notice that they want to protest. Protest should just start. When in Kanu people were demolishing, people came out to protest. There was no any prior notice or anything. Now there are two sides of this same coin. If you want leaders, you like Mr. Femi said, there are already political undertones. If you have leaders or people that are coming to say we are leaders of this organized protest, and you find out that these people have allegiance to one political party or the other, it will simply be said that this protest is politically motivated because the person lost an election. But you know that this is not about losing an election. Why? You know, cause and effect. Why did the government allow people to reach the level that they want to protest? Because of hunger. The underlying issue or the major issue here is subsidy removal. Because that subsidy is one thing that touches the life of every Nigerian. Now it has been removed and nothing is brought to bring succor to the people. right now there are some states that local government chairmen stole fertilizers that is meant for farmers. But what have we been doing? We have been sharing fertilizer as long as I know. And our food production has not increased, while our population is increasing on daily basis. Which means even if we shared fertilizer in form of palliative, it is not still a solution. There are farmers, more than 50% of Nigerian farmers cannot access their farms because of insecurity. Then you bring fertilizer, you give the farmer, then you should go to the farm. Which farm? So if leaders come and say, if Sowore, for instance, come and say he is leading this protest, they will say it was because he lost an election. And Sowore will be rounded up and be put in cell. And the whatever people are doing will die down. Why do we even have to reach this level? Just between 2 days, Mr. Femi was talking about opportunities. There are simply no opportunities. You give student loan to 1,000 students in a country of how many million people or students? And I had an argument. I asked someone, how are these students going to pay this loan back? In a country where you finish school, there is no employment. We have millions of people that are at home, no employment. You are giving loan to students. How will that student pay back that loan when they are out? So at the end of the day, we know, Nigerians know that most of the people that are beneficiaries of these loans, student loans, they are people that have connection with people in government. It is not the downtrodden, it is not the old woman in the village who has 2 children in the university or in any state or cannot even send them to school that is accessing the loan. And these are the people that need it. So these are the issues on ground. So for me, I want this to be organic. I want people to come out and protest in all sincerity. If it hands out of control,
Sorry,
the government
excuse
should
me.
blame itself. The government should blame itself for whatever it plunged itself into, because it has had time. Just yesterday, the Ministry of Youth rolled out an a program that youth can access. So we can have these things all this while, and government cannot do it until people say we want to protest. Before you start that, just yesterday NNPC said they want to do employment, and how many people they said applied? And I have a friend who went for NNPC recruitment exercise, interview, and everything, and they reached to the final stage. They were waiting for employment later since 2017 till date.
Uh, hello, Abraham. Hello, Abraham. Yeah, hello, Abraham. Okay, so quickly, sorry to interject, Comrade, but I need to point something out. One of the problems we have in the country is we have a lot of misinformation and lack of information, right? Number one, are you with me?
Yes, I'm
Yes,
with
we are
you.
hearing you.
You gave the impression that the National Youth Investment Fund came up as a result of agitations for a protest. And I can assure you that nothing can be further from the truth. But you see, rather than engaging and finding out things that are happening or the modalities of accessing opportunities, most people prefer to rant and to be upset. the NYIF program is not a new program. It did not come up because of the protest. It is misinformation. As of July 12th of this month, the Minister of Youth and Development was on a program answering all these questions. This was a long time prior to agitations for protest. The NELMS fund has been in what's the last national employment for youth fund. It's been in development for months, right? And they had already published when they were going to launch it and use it. You see, the problem I have is not the right to protest. Agitation for the sake of agitation is meaningless. It is pointless. It achieves nothing. If you want to protest, if you want to protest, go ahead. But you must be clear what you are protesting and what you're trying to get at the end of the day. Otherwise, you've wasted everybody's time and you've wasted resources. So let me give you an example in a home. If a parent has already made provision for food for a child, right, and the food is in the freezer or something, or needs microwaving, and the child refuses to do the microwaving or to make meal for himself, child now goes around saying, "Oh, my father did not give me food." How would that father feel? It's not as if there's no food. It's not as if there's no opportunity. The question is, have you exhausted the opportunities available? And thirdly, I would address something you said. You said, oh, they're doing empowerment, and okay, there's insecurity. There is nothing that restricts production, farming production, to the middle belt, right? So if we say that yes, there are challenges in the middle belt at the moment, right, and it's being dealt with, is reduced significantly, right? From all reports and from people who are staying there, it's reduced significantly. But we see there is food insecurity. What is wrong with the Southwest? What is wrong with the South-South? What's wrong with the Southeast? What's wrong with the Northeast? Why are we complaining, right, about things that we can do something about? The problem we have in this country is that for many years, governments, hello, I can hear you.